This was the very first wall stone we laid. Other stones were put into the foundation, but this was the actual first wall stone, cornerstone. And this is the very last stone we laid in the wall perimeter. Technically it won't be the very last because there's still a section of wall that's going around where the greenhouse is. And then there's interior walls and chimney. And we've begun the last section, topping it off using more of a mortar mix, nice and smooth. And when this is done and the forms are off, I'm going to take a walk all the way around the perimeter. Wow, what a perspective.
To walk off the edge. So how does it feel, seeing the whole thing?
It'll feel great once I take my stroll of victory.
So can I do it from the house roof, or do I have to do it from up there?
All the way around.
You can help me up. I can go up there.
And it's on.
What?
It's on.
Oh. Here. Hi, Daddy. It's a beautiful house.
Hey, girls.
Hey, sweeties. Hi, Dad. Hi, Dad. Hi, Dad. Yep. Nope. Victory stand. Goes the victory walk. Be careful.
Goes the victory fall.
Should time you.
I don't need any more pressure.
What a beautiful house.
This was where the last stone was laid.
Wow. so, so how many feet is it?
I don't know, let me do it again. Long time coming.
A long time coming. And a long time before it's done.
Especially if we spend the rest of the day admiring it.
It's cool, there's light down there reflected from our window. The other window. A beautiful straight house. Congratulations, sir.
Back to work.
Back to work. Admiring our little girl. Whoops.
Down to determined to get me to fall.
Sure. She's my little athlete. Hey, beautiful. Hi. What do you think of this beautiful house?
Fine.
You think it's fine? Me too. Me too. Back bedroom, bathroom, utility room, kitchen, pantry, entry hall, whatever you want to call it, kitchen, greenhouse,
We forgot
dining
to put
room.
the big roof on.
We did forget to put the big roof on. Oh no! I'm glad you reminded me. Dining room,
We forgot to put the door on.
or solarium, whatever you want to call it. It's going to have skylights and 7 windows.
We forgot the
No,
glass
9.
to put on
10,
the
11.
windows.
11 windows and a door. Living room, back, library, center library. Oop. That's about it. Oh.
The middle of February. Are we crazy or what? Shoveling roofs off last couple of days. Incredible amount of snow. There's one roof we need to shovel off. Look at that. Get a shot of the picnic table. There's the picnic table.
Hey, not the last half.
Kids with their chainsaws, fighting over cookies. Cookie.
You eat the whole thing.
This is how we're going to get... Rick has been getting all the lumber out of the woods. Wrapping a chain around it. And pulling it out with a truck.
Do you have your gloves, Acadia?
Got your gloves, Nathan? Where are yours, Acadia? Let's see those chainsaws in action.
You trim the bottom of that tree off before I haul it away.
What?
With the chainsaw.
Chainsaw. See right by the stump.
What? Go get the chainsaw, Acadia. Help,
Help him.
help
Cut
trim
that
off.
stump. Yep.
Trim off the bottom.
100 pieces of wood
It's
long?
a toolkit.
1,000. This tree must be 1,000
Let's see it.
years old. Huh? Hey, Mom, give me some wood. This tree must be 1,000
Okay.
years old. Huh?
Let's trim it up. Hold on to it right, Acadia. That's not how you hold it. Acadia, that's not how you hold it. Hold the black handle. Oops. I'm not even looking. Okay, trim it. There you go. Nathan, you don't put it up in your head, honey.
I can't do it.
You can't?
Too
Do
hard.
you have to pee, sweetie? No, you did a fine job. Look, it's all trimmed. Perfect. Yay. Do you have to pee? Hang on to the black handle, honey. There you go. What?
That's just about the cutest thing.
Thank you, sweetheart. You cut that tree down?
Yeah,
Wow.
whole thing. I love the few jagged edges.
Yeah, just for fun.
Look at my new chainsaw.
Excellent.
And my gasoline's in the truck.
Go show me.
Real gasoline. Are you filming me?
Yep.
Gasoline.
Okay, we gotta move this log.
Good, good.
Wow.
Just go right there. I have to film this. I have to.
It's like you've never done before. Don't try this at home if you're a kid.
Not if you're a kid. Exactly.
Buggy.
Yeah, I know there are a lot of bugs out here.
Buggy, buggy.
Your job is to keep the bugs off my legs.
Buggy, buggy. Don't try to do this at home. Even if you're a grown-up. You gotta know how to do it really good, right now.
Yep, here comes the log. It's moving. No, Katie, don't go over there. Don't go over there.
That is incredible.
Oh, what a strong chain.
Like nothing you've ever seen.
Bummer.
Back up.
Right up against the tree. Bummer. What's that tool called?
TV. I want to watch TV.
Yeah, you go on down and watch TV then if you want. Ow, ow, don't pull my fingers, please. Ow.
Are you filming me?
I'm filming Daddy.
Well, film me.
No, I gotta film Daddy doing this whole project. Oh, psst. Katia, come on around. Thank you.
Don't try this at home. Did you hear what I said
Mm-hmm.
in the film?
Mm-hmm.
Wish, Mom.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll wish in a minute, please.
On logs smaller than this, okay? There's a little foot to the top. Pretending, me pretending. Bad boy, bad boy, bad boy. Duo. Okay. Slow down. Bad boy, little. Go! Go! Out!
Ooh. And there it goes.
Do those! I'm a giant! I'm the boob thing. I'm a giant! That was all.
There he goes. Bringing it up. See where the other ones are.
Are you coming?
There's the other places where the logs came. These were windfalls from storm.
Do you remember seeing this log?
Okay, stay back.
Mom, do you remember seeing that log, or that log, or that one,
Honey,
or that one?
honey, move.
You ever seen it before? It's my turn. My pig. I go with
Stay.
Yeah, let's go home.
Stay back, honey.
Yeah, home.
Stay back, Nathan.
Whoa, Kitty, you almost made me fall into Mom, Kitty put the stick right under my feet, and it almost made me fall and go like...
Thank you. Yum. Yum, 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 yum. Mmm. Tastes like chocolate. Slick as a whistle.
Scooping out the greenhouse. One shovel and one bucket at a time.
You always say loud mouth, do you, Dad? Mama says loud mouth, too. Does she, Dad? Does
Starting to level it off the inside. Backfilling. Digging out put in footings for the support posts and beams that will support the roof. And all dug by hand. The hole survived the recent rain. I draped plastic over the edges to keep it from caving in. The black plastic I put in the bottom of the hole, so when we pour the concrete, the ground doesn't absorb a lot of the moisture. It'll cure slower. This hole is about 9 feet long, about 2.5 feet wide, about 6.5 feet deep. And we need to dig another foundation trench or a footing in between this hole and that one there, which would be about 11 feet long. That's for another stone wall support. And then the forms will be placed inside and just kind of piggybacked on the way up. The footing will be wider, and then the rest of the foundation up to the floor level won't be quite as wide. It'll be a little more narrow. And then another trench will be dug in here for the chimney footing. And then several smaller, about this size, will be dug in a row along the back to support upright. Okay, in order to set the forms inside these trenches, there isn't much room to bolt them together and then take the bolts out after. So they have to be placed in without any wires or bolts. So once the footing is poured, they can be lifted out without having to try and cut wires off the sides, because there's not enough room on the edging. So what I did is I laid these two long units down, and then the end pieces have these pieces screwed onto it like this. So when it's placed into the form, the two long pieces will butt up against this, and then these pieces will butt up against the end of the long. So it kind of all holds itself together without wires or bolts. And that piece will slide right down in there. I'm trying to get the form set as quickly as possible. This gravel doesn't collapse back in on itself. Once the form's in place, then the gravel. Okay, I've set up one of the forms to use as a ramp. That way we can get the wheelbarrow really close and then just dump it down inside instead of having to shovel it. And these are the braces we put around the forms, so the forms aren't actually bolted together, they're just held together with wooden braces. That way we can get them out easier if they're not bolted and wired together once the concrete sets. We'll put another ramp like this over here so we can wheel the wheelbarrow right up to it and dump it. Saves a lot of time. Hurry up and get this thing filled. The longer you leave a trench open like this, the drier it gets. Chance of collapsing in greater. These rebars I just drove into the ground just to kind of stabilize the footing so it won't tend. filling it with concrete, dropping stones in to take up volume.
Nathan helped.
And Nathan helped. And there's Nathan's stone wall.
I'm starting on a new one.
Boy, he mixed up his own concrete.
Inside of it?
Look at that.
I'm coming too, Nathan. Okay. When I get these walls all filled in, I'm gonna put a roof over it.
Yeah.
Can we go out there?
The footing up to this point, and then this will be the foundation of the post. It's reinforced with a little bit of rebar, some wire, and it'll be filled up to top level with a anchor bolt in the top, and then a metal bracket will be bolted onto the anchor bolt, and the post will have a hole drilled through the bottom, go over the bolt, and then the bracket will be screwed in it. And here's the finished product, all backfilled. This one, we're slowly filling it up, adding stones to take. Okay, you can climb down there if you want. The finished product. It's the footing, the foundation for this, one of the interior stone walls.
Hi!
On each end, there'll be a 6x6 wooden post. That's what the
Hi!
bolt that's embedded in there will
Over here,
be for.
Tina. I'll help you over.
Hey, look up here. Wave.
Windows. Primer on the doors and windows. Looks pretty good. Looks new and sparkly. Pretty good view from our windows.
It's getting there. All the dirt from that one is filling this one back up. Smile!
I like being caught on film and looking like this.
Oh, they don't fall. What I did here is hardpan sloped uphill. It was lower at this end. So rather than digging all that hardpan soil out, I dug a couple trenches that are level so that the forms will set in that. Saves a little bit of work. This one's finished. Just got to remove the forms. Another footing foundation for a interior stone wall. And this massive hole, although it looks like an elephant's grave, is actually going to be the footing for the chimney. I have to dig these things in step layers so it's easier to get out with, instead of having to throw the dirt as far over your head. And I marked out with little batter board sticks. There's going to be a hole here and here for some post footings, and then 3 or 4 more that way, and then that's it for the interior. Then we got to put up the stone walls, set the posts, and then next year probably do all the wood above in the roof. And we still have to finish the greenhouse. Look in the garage.
Someday.
Someday you'll be filming us on the couch over here. Well, not in the hall.
Not in the hall.
Is this gonna be the couch? No.
This is going to be the indoor swimming pool.
Is it really, Dad? It's gonna...
Hello, are you helping? Not these kids.
Mom,
No chores? How about digging? Yep. How about digging a big hole when you're only 3? Tired? You've been digging for a long time. All done?
Did that whole thing yourself.
Yay! Good job.
thanks for helping me up. I want to feel your other glove.
It's the same as this one.
I want to feel it.
Another huge hole dug. I keep digging holes like this. One of them will be my grave someday. All ready to lay the forms. Just have to level the bottom a little and then start pouring the footing for the chimney. Ready?
Yep.
Could put it in the wall.
What?
Wow, what a sound.
Too much damage.
Can I get down and see it?
Oh yeah, I gotta get it.
What are you, Jungle Boy? Was that or what was that that you had up on the ridge
Jungle Boy.
when you were a kid? A movie Rick made. Don't bump into me when I'm filming, Nathan. Please move.
That was my favorite stone. Is that where it's gonna go?
Almost.
Right in the middle. Oh. This is the footing for the chimney. Almost filled. You can see the wire mesh. It's embedded in the concrete just to give it strength. This footing has to support the chimney. It's a lot of weight. And through the magic of videotape, it's all done. At least to this level here. It's got to go up a little farther, but not as wide. For the post supports, I kind of drew them with my finger on the wet cement. And then part of the actual chimney, which is 2 feet by 6 feet, will be in the center. So I have to set some more forms. And then that section will be done. And all that's left inside for the underground work, a couple of post supports going in there and a few more over here. They're a lot smaller holes. And I'd better get And we had a portable sawmill brought in. Set up right here, and there's a few logs left over that hardwood couldn't get to. Hauled away most of it and piled it in the garage. Got a lot of 6x6 and 2x6, 2x10, 2x8s, 2x4s, boards. Got a lot of lumber. Almost 1,400 board feet. 6x6 post, 2x10s, 2x6s, 2x4s. Trees that chimney footing. Beginning of a new building season. Here it is, May 20th, and it's snowing. I've got the ramp set up for the season. Started digging some more foundation holes in the middle of a May snowstorm. Incredible. I've got to do 1, 2, 3, I think 4 or maybe 5 foundation holes for small footings like this one here. And I'm going to start working on these interior stone walls and the chimney this year. And hopefully might even get to some of the wooden structure. But I kind of doubt it. The way the weather... I got that footing ready to pour. This hole dug, ready to set the forms and pour. And I've staked out the other 3 footings. There, there, and there. And I've marked with poles along the perimeters. There and there and there, so I can run strings once the footing is in to know where the post will be, so I can set anchor bolts like I did here and other places like that. And once those footings are done, I've got 2 stone walls, the friendship wall, and then this interior stone wall. This footing hole had to be extremely deep. Keep digging until I hit hard pan. This was an area that when we were putting in the well, they had to dig a slag pit. So there was sort of a hole here. It was all gravel filled in. Hopefully the other 2 that are left, I won't have to go down as deep. And that'll be all the digging as far as the footings. And there's just digging around the foundation for drainage pipes. I had to redig this hole and set the footing over a little bit, so it wasn't quite lined up enough. I had to make a little pathway for the wheelbarrow. Start filling this footing hole. This one is very deep. I needed a ladder to climb out of that hole. And I've set the forms and start filling these for the interior stone walls. And in this form, I've got to make sure we put in electrical conduits before we start putting stone and concrete. And then there'll be one on either side of the wall. And then this one's done. Just gotta take the forms off, clean this hole out, set them in there, pour another one, and a couple more to dig here. And one on the end is pretty much done. And before I start pouring this wall, I have to wire in these electrical boxes so that the stone and concrete kind of embedded into it. And I left the ends sticking out so we can take the form off, and then there'll be elbows and the conduit will go down. Okay, here we have one of many typical problems that occur. This hole has been here so long and the weather's been so rainy this year. By the time I get this footing poured, the edges have collapsed. So there's all this dirt in here and I can't get the forms out very easily. I've got to pretty much scoop it out with a hoe and then attach a chain with a car jack and try to lift them out. It's a long process. Well, let's see. We've got this footing done. This one almost done. This hole dug. Form's all set. I've reinforced the sides. It's such a tight hole that if any dirt falls in there, it's so much work getting those forms out again. This is the last hole. A little more digging to do. And this one, I finally got the forms out. And that one's done. I just have to take that top form off and then reset it. And I also started working on the friendship wall. I have to keep this stuff covered as long as possible so it dries slow, keeps the moisture in. This wall is a little different because it's stone faced on both sides. I've put in some reinforcement wire mesh overlapping from one stone to another. It's critical that this wall is built like brick wall as much as possible, because the total strength of this wall. Oh, this is one deep hole. I had to have a ladder nearby in order to climb out. That thing is about 6 feet deep. And I still haven't hit hard pan yet. Should be any time now. It's a lot of work. This hole was pretty deep too. And there's another one done and drying. And the last one is almost finished. And I'm pulling the forms off this one. This one goes way down. Very deep. There's a very narrow hole and the forms fit in so tightly. I wanted to get them out before we got any rain and collapse. This one was such a hard job getting the forms from. But that's it. No more footings to pour. No more holes to dig. Just gotta finish up these two walls. And of course the outside by the greenhouse. That's gotta be dug out a little more, but that'll be done with a backhoe. And then I've got to set some forms here. Pour the walls up to about the bottom of that window there, right where that key is. And then that's it for stone walls. It's going to be sad. I'll have to pour a few floors. Some of these I may